Hello, everyone. Welcome to our tour preview for the World Affairs Council Tour, Cuba and its People. I'm Andrew Hott, Director of Travel here at the World Affairs Council of Philadelphia, and I have with me Fiorella Fernandez, Programs Coordinator here at the Travel Program, and also Don Samford, who works closely with the Peoria World Affairs Council, and I'll get into his bio in a minute. So World Affairs has been operating an educational travel program for over 65 years and partners with councils across the country to provide this program. We work with the highest quality travel partners across the world to deliver programs with expert guides and directors, giving you a firsthand experience into the culture and people you are visiting. We provide high access to high level briefings, send you educational resources to enhance your experience, and facilitate personal interactions with community leaders, experts, and historians. Our travel partner on this tour is AHI Travel, an exceptional educational travel tour operator who we have been working with for over 25 years. Um, Don Stanford is our tour leader for this
Mute
Cuba
and
tour, and
start
we're
video. Okay.
very excited. So Don has a professional background. He is a retired history and social science teacher from Eureka High School and Illinois Central College psychology adjunct. He's actively involved with the Peoria Area World Affairs Council, where he has served as past president and chairman of the Education Outreach and Program Committees. He's made 7 trips to Cuba, collaborating with groups like the U.S. Agricultural Coalition for Cuba and Illinois Working Group on Cuba. And this is his 3rd trip with the World Affairs Council. We're happy to welcome him back. He toured with us in 2019 and 2023 as our tour leader and guest lecturer on our trip to Cuba. So with that, I will pass it over to Don to walk us through the itinerary and talk more about this really exciting Cuba trip. Thank you, Don.
All right, thank you, Andrew, and Fiorello, thank you also for the great work you've done putting this together as well. I'm very excited for the opportunity to lead this tour again to Cuba. I will mention that with
Mute.
my first trip in 2014, um, having read Hemingway, Churchill, others about how they became fascinated with Cuba. Um, I had written a, paper in college about Fidel Castro and whether he was a nationalist or a communist, and I've always been fascinated since then, and it was exciting to go there. But I really did experience, I think, what Hemingway and Churchill did. I really now have a passion for Cuba, and if the opportunity provided itself, I would love to stay there 3 or 4 months out of the year. Their government is a little bit of a problem at this time, but the people there are wonderful. And so I will take you through the itinerary here, very similar to the one that we did in 2023. I will tell you up front that Andrew and I are working on some minor changes that we hope maybe AHI will be able to work out for us, and a couple I'll mention as possibilities as we go through because I think they very easily could be part of the itinerary. Where we're going to be staying, I have not stayed here. We've anywhere I've stayed, and it's been several places, has been wonderful. But these B&Bs, and this is kind of almost like a B&B hotel, boutique hotel. Its location is in one of the more exclusive areas. You will see the old Spanish architecture, some Art Deco, and the architecture is stunning down there. And it's also located near a nightclub. It's an old factory that has been converted into really kind of an art and cultural center, unlike anything I've ever seen in Cuba. And it's all ages, but a lot of the young people who have tattoos, piercings that we don't normally see out on the streets. They have 5 different venues for live music. They also have art for sale, various artists. Uh, it's within walking distance, so I'm very happy with the location with it. Our second day there, then we're going to have some lectures. The Cuban economy and healthcare are both scheduled, and those are really interesting. Obviously, right now the Cuban economy is not in good shape, except for the private enterprise. It is the only thing that is doing well at the moment down there. And so you'll have a chance to engage, to talk about what the situation is, where maybe the economists think they need to go, and so forth. So you'll get a very close, upfront look and talk about this then. Um, Also, we'll be exploring the um, plazas around there, and those are really stunning. Most of them have been rehabilitated. Unfortunately, a lot of the buildings are collapsing. I think they say three a day with the beautiful architecture. But where we'll be, you won't have to worry about any of that. We'll also be stopping at Daydor, which three women opened this fashion location, and it's very interesting story, and it shows the efforts of capitalism. They came to the United States to learn marketing and how to ship and so forth. This is a buy opportunity also. It is predominantly women's clothing, but there are men's clothing there. I was going to buy a shirt, but they didn't have my size,
Hello?
unfortunately.
You
Uh,
are in the meeting now. There
I-
are
I'm
four.
going to have to lose some weight, I think, going back in November. If they don't have my size, I'll be ready for them then. But that was very interesting. On day three, and let's see, are we on our slides? Do we have, okay, here we go. Thank you. On day three, of course, this is one of the highlights, the vintage convertible ride. Uh, It'll be along the Malecon. I know last time we actually went through a nature preserve, which was pretty stunning, and then stopped under a giant tree and had a chance to talk with the drivers. Hopefully, we might find a owner. The vintage cars are more or less kept alive today because of the tourism. And right now, tourism is down, and so some of them are really concerned and worried about being able to keep these running. I was a little bit thinking this is a touristy deal, so the first couple of trips we didn't do this. That I was down there, and then we did. And I tell you what, it's a blast. I would recommend it to everybody. They weave in and out, so you can take pictures of your group and so forth. But it's a great way to sightsee and point out the various points of interest that exist there. Um, I'll also mention that time stopped in 1959 in Cuba. It very much is a time capsule. And that's why I was kind of stunned my first trip there. You step back. I'll mention very quickly the Hotel Riviera, which Myers Lansky had built and was open less than a year when he had to leave when Castro took over. We went into the lobby. I took a picture of it, and then I found an old postcard. It was identical. It's like they had just put, covers over and taken them off for the tourists. There were many places like that you were, up until roughly the last 5 years, really looking at exactly the way things were when Castro took over and Batista left. I mean, it's just, as a history teacher, this was phenomenal. Changes are going on. They've allowed some of the, especially Iberostar and some other companies, to go in and do some renovation on these hotels. They're changing them somewhat, but you're still seeing a very historical. The big thing is they're building five-star hotels for tourists that they don't have any for. And there's a big controversy that we'll hear when we go down there about whether these are running what's bringing tourists, keeping the beautiful architecture. And so that's an ongoing fight that's going on down there. On day, also, Wilfredo Benitez, a wonderful individual. I've had the opportunity 3 or 4 times to visit with him, the Ludwig Foundation. What we'll do first on day three is go to the National Museum of Fine Arts, and he'll talk to you about how Cuban art has progressed. Cubans, the art scene is phenomenal. I'm not sure. I think sometimes I think when you're in a society like theirs that's a little more closed in, uh, art, music is a way of escape. And the music is I mean, I just am excited every time I go down there to hear different musical groups. My last time, though, I told them I was a little disappointed. They were playing all the songs that used to be when the cruise ships came in, all the tourists want to hear. I said, okay, that's fine, but you have great other music. So I requested some of the other. And hopefully, if you know some music, you'll be able to do that as well. But you'll be able to learn more about that. On day 4, we're going to go to the Sephardic Hebrew Center. It kind of depends on who our tour director is, but one is an American, Cuban American, who is Jewish. His wife is from Russia. She was our tour director last year, or in 2023, and she has converted, and so they take their family there. Alan's mom, who I hope will speak to our group, was the head of the CBS Bureau, News Bureau in Cuba. And she's Jewish and married. So you really get a chance to see, I think, kind of the intermix that goes on there. And I found just even in our tour director and family, you learn quite a bit from them. Malpaso is in the old Jewish synagogue, and they are a contemporary dance group. They do travel around the globe. I've been there 5 times to watch them. And you have a chance also there to purchase t-shirts, some items that help finance them. Then you head outside to Hemingway's home, and of course it is. It's one of those must stops and built up high where you can look down on Havana. Since I live in Eureka, Illinois, which is right 15 miles outside of Peoria, known for Caterpillar, Caterpillar is the one who got the money and also trained the Cuban workers to put a whole new foundation in. And so we have kind of this little local tie that when I go there, I'm always excited about. In the evening, we're going to go to the Ludwig Foundation and visit with the local artist. That was fascinating. I know our group in 2023 found that one of the real highlights of the tour. We have individuals in a variety of media and art. There's also art for sale there. And art is the one thing that there has never been any restrictions on for bringing back. And I have several art pieces in my house that are from Cuba and a variety of Cuban artists. You don't have to buy anything. There's never any pressure, but we just wanted to make sure that you are aware that you will have that opportunity. And then we go to the Hotel Nacional, which is the famous one, and we'll do a tour and a dinner at a nearby Paladar. The Nacional, of course, is known for the mob days, but it also, I stayed there with the Ag Coalition for Cuba. And we saw leaders from Uganda. Let's see, they were from, I think there's 2 or 3 other countries. This does seem to be the hotel where a lot of the dignitaries will stay that are having meetings with the Cuban government. So it's kind of let's see who we can see that might be famous there. But we'll get into the history of that a little bit as well. Then on day 5. We're going to head out to Matanzas. Matanzas was, it's known as the City of Bridges, and 2023 was my first trip to there. And it is. I did not realize how many bridges they did have. It was a wonderful trip. Again, all of Cuba is an architectural draw. I've been probably over 3/4 of Cuba now, and every place you go is just another feast, I think, in history. We also will have a chance to go to a pharmaceutical museum that is there. Their city center is restored, and then the performance by the local choir. It's also a choir that travels around the globe as well. Uh, we'll also be stopping at the highest bridge in Cuba. It's an interesting place because it's also a rest stop, and you get to see the people who stay at the beaches in Cuba, and very seldom see much of the rest of Cuba. But they're all usually renting the old cars and headed to Havana for a day trip to go back to the beaches. And we'll have a chance to talk about that issue also in Cuba. Then on day 6, we have a Cuban social psychologist. I found her documentary very interesting. It talks about the mainly young girls, but women who went out and educated the populace how to read and write. And so they had a huge literacy campaign once the revolution was over, and they're attempting to, get things started again. And of course, Cuba is known for its literacy. Everybody, goes to school, learns to read and write. The great tragedy is with the high level of education is oftentimes our tour guides, our waiters, people working in the tourist industry have PhDs in economics. They are degrees in engineering. There just aren't jobs for them. So that's been a frustration that certainly exists there. And we'll be able to dig more into that. And a lot of times we'll be able to visit with a waiter or people, and they'll share with you their experiences. Then on day 6, or I'm sorry, we're already doing there. We're going to also go to a street market, and I know what we did the last time there. We were given an amount of money and pesos, and then went and shopped for certain items so that you could also visit with the vendors and pick out. And then that was used in our meal that evening that is fixed from our fresh vegetables that we purchased at the time. We will then go to Casa Fuster, and this is one I think I've been to 6 times. um, has mosaics. I Pictures don't do justice. If you Google and find it, it is the entire neighborhood has been done by him. So you'll be able to walk around and see the incredible pieces. It's depends on your taste. It's His influence was Gaudi from Spain, and you'll certainly see inklings of it. I've had a chance to visit with him a couple of times. We'll see if he's there. A lot of times he's busy, but he is a world-renowned artist, and there's some smaller pieces there. Again, an opportunity to purchase. And then we'll go to Casa de la Cultura, and the tango and the salsa. You'll be given a chance. I was hesitant with my wife to do this, but I think I got fairly decent, although she probably would beg to differ with you then. And so again, we're hoping that we're going to be adding maybe a visit to the Capitol building, which has been restored. Looks very much like ours. And except that they like to tell you, their dome is bigger than our dome. But it is stunning inside. I've only been able to peek in a door after I bribed a guard. They were closed, so I got to see only that part. But individual I know have been there said the restoration has been just fantastic. It's beautiful. And maybe the CNN reporter down there, John Ottman, that he'll be able to share what's currently going on as well. He lives there. His insights with his neighbors is very interesting as well. So there's a couple of things we're working on. Oh, and yeah, Andrew, almost forgot. We're going to be working on briefing from the U.S. Embassy. Because that's one of the things that we like to hold ourselves up to with the World Affairs Council. And I know other tours that I've led to Turkey as well, they've all said this is why they tend to sign up, is they get these extra opportunities they don't get on other trips. And so we might take a couple of drives that aren't necessarily, if we have time on the schedule, that I think the group will find very interesting historically. So the tour guides are really good to work with me. They have to stay on their schedule. Because they don't want anybody mad that they didn't do what was advertised. But we will certainly talk with you, and any chance that we have that it tailors more to your needs, we will do our best to make it an even more interesting and wonderful trip. And lastly, I can't say enough about the Cuban people. They are phenomenal. I've got some friends down there now. When we go, I forgot we got day 7. Yeah, I was thinking Terrazas. Yes, and that's where I've got a couple of friends out there. it was a model socialist community, except they've got some pretty good capitalism going as well with it. It's uh, uh, an old French plantation, and they've planted trees so that the vegetation is just stunning out there. Uh, the artist studio there, I have, I think, three of his pieces right now. It's a place you can purchase, but he also travels the United States. But they are just wonderful people to talk with. And they'll also share the difficulties that they're facing in Cuba right now and the frustration. Um, they're seeing friends and relatives leave to come to the United States, Spain, and other countries. And the desire, obviously, to stay in the country and develop the country is what they most wish. But that's a wonderful day, and you see some of the most beautiful country in Cuba when we go out there. Then, so I've talked a lot. I hope that's given you a little extra than what is in the brochure. So, Andrew, I'll turn back and see if there's any questions.
Oop, Don, we have one more slide. We just wanted to know
Oh,
what were
oh,
some
yes.
things that we could bring back and gifts, things like that. What's allowed back in the US?
Yeah, and this might get updated. We've sometimes been able to bring other things back. I'm a little worried things will get tighter rather than looser on this, but we will certainly work with you. One thing I left out is it wasn't on the brochure, but we do go to the kind of artist. There's a market in Havana, and so people have booths. It's kind of like our old antique, except it's their crafts, their items. But on the second floor now is where you see artists who don't bring the big money, but some of them are really good. And so it's a place you can go in. We'll see if you can even bring back one cigar. We were told, and this happened for us because we did it. If you got one or two cigars, the customs people, whatever. But if that's changed, we will let you know. So we're not going to get you in a bind. But if there's an experience where there's one item or something that you can bring back and that's not been an issue, you won't have to worry.
All right, thank you so much, Don. Well, I'll open up to any questions we have on here. If anyone has anything. If not, we can go into the
I
registration.
have a
Oh,
question. Can you
oh,
hear me?
sure. Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Can you tell us the situation with the visas?
I couldn't quite hear the question. It was
The
Oh,
question was, what is
I thought it was on yours because I heard
the issues with the
shoot.
visas or how the visa process?
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a little bit ongoing, and what AHI will do is once we get people signed up, they will send you exactly how to do that. Last time we had to go through a different company, but I think that's changed even this time. So it's a little bit fluid. They've changed down in Cuba also. It's been different. I think it was the same my first two or three times down there, which you got it when you came into the country. But it's a shifting bullseye. But you don't have to worry. AHI will definitely take care that you know exactly how to do it.
All right, any other questions? Oh, Lisa said she could not hear your answer. Lisa, he said that AHI, our travel partner, will keep us up to date about that. Things might change a little bit, but they'll be very forthcoming with the process. World Affairs is an authorized tour traveler partner to be able to go down to Cuba, so you don't have to worry about that. And we also have a third-party service, G3 visas, that we work with in case there's anything else. But between those people, you'll definitely have all the info you need to get in and out of there safely.
Andrew, I also forgot. I don't. Can you, Fiorella, put me up on a bigger screen? I wanted to show.
Yes,
We're
I
gonna.
can. Sorry, give me
Okay.
just 2 seconds and I
You
can.
don't need to worry. We we'll get you a bibliography too if you sign up, And so there's some, I have one really good book that'll give you a good sense of the different views of the people that are there as well. And that'll help give you that idea going in. Um, I will say that, yeah, this is going to Cuba can be an adventure. I may be going there in March with the U.S. Ag Coalition. And so I will have a good idea by then for those who sign up along with AHI what the process is. But the big thing in 2023, the difference was that you could use U.S. dollars. And before that, if you had a US dollar in your possession as a Cuban person, you could go to jail. But they used to have two currencies. They went to the peso, but now the hard currency for them that they really want is the US dollar. So I was in culture shock because this went totally against what I was used to. And I did no conversion into pesos. I was able to use US dollars everywhere I went. Any change in that, we would let you know. But as of now, the U.S. hard currency is very valuable down there.
All right, Don, thank you. If there aren't any other questions, you can reach out to us. I will pass it over to Fiorella to talk about the registration process.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Andrew. And thank you so much, Dawn, for taking us through the presentation and through the itinerary. Sounds very exciting. I wish I could join. My name is my name is Fiorella Fernandez, and I am the programs coordinator here at the World Affairs Council of Philadelphia, and I will be your main point of contact of how to register for this trip. I will just direct you to the three things on the screen. There is our phone number at the top that you're more than welcome to call if you have any questions or concerns about the trip. You can also email us at that same email underneath the phone number if you have any questions or need to get in touch with us. And then also additionally, we have our website, wacphila.org/travel, where you can look at all of our travel programs. But specifically, we also have a Cuba and its People web page that has Don's information, that has our brochure, and also has the link to be able to register you for this program. Now, AHI has built out a fabulous co-branded website for us, and there you'll be able to put in your information. If you have any trouble, you're more than welcome to give us a call or contact us and let us know you're having trouble. But you input your information, and then you will be able to place your deposit for this trip. And AHI will be in touch for the next steps on how to get everything else set up for you. In addition, we as a World Affairs Council of Philadelphia really encourage that when you travel, you purchase travel insurance, just for all of those unexpected things that might occur while you're traveling. We are so lucky that we get to partner with USI, who is a fabulous travel insurance partner. You can contact them at this number below. In addition, I can also send you the website where you can browse their different packages and just see what kind of coverage you might be able to get for your departure. So if you have any questions about that or would like to get any more further information about the travel insurance, again, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help you and support you in all of your travel needs. And thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Fiorella and Don and everyone. Hope to see you all in Cuba. Have a great day, everyone.
All
Thank
right.
you so much,
Thank you.
everyone.